Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wealthdown. With me, your host, Norbert PM, bringing you the top economic news that you need to know before the bell in the stock market. Right, so let's get started with ASML, one of the biggest companies out there, one of the most important companies out there for all of the chips in the world. Now, I'm going to do a detailed video about ASML so I can better explain what they actually do. Basically, they produce the machines that can create actual chips. So what happened? They should have released their earnings on the 16th. Due to a technical problem, they accidentally released their earnings on the 15th. Now, that's not the problem. The actual problem was, although they had good earnings, they had good revenue, they missed on absolutely nothing. What they did do is reduce their expectation or the outlook for the next year. The market was expecting a roughly 40 billion euros sales for the next year, but they reported that they expect a roughly 30 to 35 billion euros sales for the next year due to reduced demand from their main partners, which is TSMC and Intel, of course, also Samsung. So this sent the price pretty much plunging. As you can see, it hadn't had this much of a, let me just check the chart here, didn't have this much of a fall down since I believe 2008 or something like that. Now this is a really old company, but check out this candle. This is the biggest drop they had since almost 2008. One day, this was on the 15th and this was on the 16th, so they're roughly down 20%. Now this pretty much sent the stock for a year to year in even the minus territory. Let's just check here year to year. The year to date they're actually minus 8.25%, and on the year they're still up 15-ish%. Now, is this the end of ASML? Of course not. And if you're a long-term investor, then you shouldn't have any concern at all, accepting this is the way it is. They do rise and they do fall. And the harder they rise, the harder they fall. You know how that is. Now, I'm going to do a detailed video about the ASML, explaining what exactly this company is and what its outlooks are for the future. But it's a future video. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market. As you can see, yesterday it was a mixed feeling with Nvidia coming back after a 5% sell-off. But what is 5% for Nvidia? Came back with closing it on 3%, but everything else was pretty much mixed. The banks reported earnings once again. Let's also go over what are the latest economic news. So the S&P 500 yesterday closed up with 0.47%. The Nasdaq closed up with 0.07% due to the huge sell-off in the semiconductor industry. Then we had the Dow Jones closing up. The Dow Jones closed up with 0.79%. Of course, with all the semiconductor industry going downwards, the Dow Jones profited from that one. We continue to see a sell down in oil prices. WTI crude oil is currently at $70. It has lost roughly all of its strength in the last month due to reduced risks on Israel hitting Iran's oil fields, which will make a bit of a supply problem. Gold also still rising. It's still having pretty much all-time highs after all-time highs, exactly as the S&P. Thus, I would consider taking some profits if you own gold. This is just amazing. Now, the dollar is gaining a bit of strength against the euro, against the British pound, and against the Japanese yen. Then we have Bitcoin, which is trailing for the day, but it has an excellent week. Also, it has an excellent month, 15% up for the month. That is just great for Bitcoin. Of course, we could see a huge drop just before the election, and then depending who wins, it's going to go up or pretty much stay the same, I believe. It's just my opinion, but who am I to give you financial advice? Because I'm not a financial advisor, so you shouldn't take financial advice from me on any other YouTube channel. So here are the economic reports for today. We already have the balance of trade from Japan, which came in worse than expected, actually. Then we have today from the European Union, the deposit facility rate, and the ECB interest rate decision, where we believe they're going to cut 25 basis points again, bringing it down to 3.4%. Now, this is going to influence me because I do live in Europe, and it's going to influence my return on cash, going to bring it down to 3.25%. Currently yield on our cash in our depot. Also, if you're watching our weekends edition where we go over our portfolio, what we bought, what we sold, why we did it, what is our cash holding, we currently yielding 3.5%. We're going to go down to 3.25% after this decision, if the decision is to cut rates. Also, we're going to have the retail sales number today from the United States and the ECB press conference then later in the day. And the sales number is going to come out before the bell, so this could pretty much influence and push the markets in one direction or the other. So definitely stay safe out there and prepare for, as we take a look in the futures are telling us this everything is okay. We're actually up 0.23% on the S&P, and we're also up 0.52% on the Nasdaq. Okay, so let's jump into earnings, because earnings season just started. So let's see, we have today reporting earnings. Netflix, we're expecting a EPS of 5.12, and we expect a revenue of $9.77 billion, that is. Then we have Blackstone reporting earnings. We're expecting a EPS of 0.91 and a revenue of 2.37 billion. We have also Avalanche reporting. They also a 9.66 EPS is expected. And that's pretty much it for where we have a bank central reporting. Here's financials. This is a regional bank. We did own Truist Financial, we also sold it, but we have another one, which is Walmart, that we can hardly expect to report earnings. Is going to give us a bit of a sense over the consumer. And that's pretty much it for the big ones, or at least for what we are watching for the earnings report. So definitely stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Also click that notification bell. You know, get notified when we post new videos like this. I'm Norbert BM, wishing you a lovely day. Stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye bye.